right, we have a small crowd to start, but we are going to go ahead and get started this morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nancy Moore. I am the Director of Programs and co-founder of Africa Fire Mission. We're really excited you're here today for your weekly training with Africa Fire Mission. Our volunteers are happy to provide this training to you. And today we have Rick Best from the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation in the US, who will be training for us. Some of you may have gotten to know Rick a little bit during our symposium in 2019 or 20. He was part of our leadership course that we provided along with Chief Hank Clemenson and Chief Kevin Milan. So you are encouraged today to share what you learned, to get others involved with some of the exciting opportunities that we're going to be talking about today. This training is provided free of charge. We do not provide a certificate of attendance for this training right now. It will be recorded, and whenever possible, our trainings will be made available on our YouTube channel within about 24 hours of the training. Please introduce yourself in the chat. And at the end of our training today, we will have time for you to have some more informal conversations with Jose for tea time with our, Jose's our fire safety advocate. So please make sure to keep your microphones muted, but you may also unmute yourself when you have questions. And I'm going to have Jose get us started with some words of encouragement this morning.
Super. Thank you, Nancy, for the invitation. Good evening and good morning to you, Nancy and Rick. It's a pleasure having both of you on board. Well, today I will focus, will not focus on the book, but I have something small for me to read from the Bible. And then from there, we could just jump right into the lesson today. Well, I'll read quite a number of verses, but bear with me on this. There's a lesson to it. It's in Matthew chapter 25, from verse 1 to 13. Yeah, and I will read. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened to 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 of them were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom arrived, when the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. Verse 8, and the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, No, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. Verse 10. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Verse 13, the last verse. Watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. The reason why I read all those verses is for us to actually get to reflect within ourselves in the fire service. This is a call to action that we always get prepared as we wait for fires to occur or rescues for us to respond to rescues. You see, if you're not prepared, for example, if your PPE is not ready, like your bunker pant is not well tucked into your fire boots, what happens when you are called for a fire? You will delay and therefore you will start being uneasy and tensed. Yeah, when you're called to go do a latrine or a rescue in a ditch, if you've not known how to do your knots, guess what happens? You will be hesitant to be the one to do the rescue. So, and also you put yourself at a very high risk. And you know what? You might end up not going back home. You might go to the hospital. Why? Because of the injuries, or because you put your the body system, the person who's responsible for you or of you, at a very high risk. Maybe he gets injured or something. So get to do constant training on ropes, search and rescue, how to read smoke, and also use of BAs. Yeah. And lastly, please stay glued to each other. Yeah. Things like peer-to-peer support. If you're going through something, please let your buddy know. Thank you very much. And I'll pass this baton to the trainer for today. Thank you, and enjoy the lesson.
Thank you, Jose, for the words of wisdom and the guidance this morning. It definitely goes a long way. It helps us remind us that we need to stay prepared, stay current on our knowledge and skills. So thank you for that. So I'd like to start out by thanking everyone that's on this call for allowing me to get in here and share some information with you. My name is Rick Best. I work for the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation as their advocate manager. And today we're going to focus on some of the resources that are available to you free of charge, and they're all online, so you can do them in self-study. All the programs we'll go over today do provide a certificate once you take them, so that's always a good thing. So I started in the fire service many years ago as a volunteer fireman in the south part of the state in Ohio, and I moved to Central Ohio to work in the big city area, and I retired last year as a firefighter from the city of Westerville. So I've had a experience from volunteer to career to big cities to small cities of taking care of my friends and family. And my retirement job, I work at a college. I'm the program manager for the fire science degree program. So if you have additional questions about resources or different trainings that or questions you have for me, by all means, send it through Nancy in the fire mission, and she will get them to me, and we'll make sure to get you the answers and the resources you need. But for today, we're just going to go over a couple of the websites and a few of the things that are available to you. So at any point, if you have questions or comments, please let me know. I'm going to try and get the screen small enough here that I can see both. And okay, admit somebody here. So get down here and I'll share my screen so you can see everything I'm doing. How's that sound, everybody?
Sounds great. And Rick, I'll monitor the chat and the admits, so you don't have to worry about that too.
Perfect. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, coming up.
Perfect. Thank you. So the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation was created by Congress to honor, assist, and honor the firefighters died in line of duty, assist the family members in the rebuilding process if they had a family member that died in the line of duty, and then honor, assist, and the prevention side through education, and that's where I come in. As the advocate manager, we have people to help provide the training and resources. So some of the training that's available, some of these classes are in-person classes, and I spoke with Nancy briefly. They're designed for 4-hour lengths. I thought maybe we could break them in half or in quarters and maybe start doing some of these for you on a weekly basis, like an hour at a time or whatever fits your schedule. So these are available to you. If you go to the Everyone Goes Home website, there's all kinds of current events from everything in the U.S. Fire Service on the front page right here. But if you go to the 16 life safety initiatives, click on those. The 16 life safety initiatives are the building block for the safety within the fire service on how to prevent the preventable line of duty deaths and injuries. So for example, if you go to number 1, changing the culture, number 1, the whole initiative is changing the culture of the fire service, right, from the top down. So it's define and advocate the need for cultural change in fire service, incorporating leadership, supervision, and management from the top to the bottom. It's everyone's responsibility. There's information here that you can read about it. Or if you go down, these are all just different videos. You can click and watch a quick little video, which I'm not sure about all the firefighters where everybody is from in different parts of the world, but I know in the US, we would much rather watch a video than read or listen to someone talk. So these videos are all available 100% free of charge for you to utilize. The training tab is where I really kind of want to focus today for this group. The Courage to Be Safe program, it's a 4-hour in-person class, and it covers the 16 life safety initiatives. It's kind of the building blocks of keeping us prepared. It talks about the peer-to-peer, the things that Jose mentioned, right? It's changing the culture, doing what's right, using the technology, right? Sprinklers once we get to that. And then depending on where we're at, some people are there, some are not. And the mental health, right? Apparatus and equipment, all the things that we have rolling around in our heads, we need to figure out how to prioritize. The initiatives can be utilized as a building block to help you do that. So moving down, that's kind of the 100 series program, like the beginning program. Then the LAC, this one here, the Leadership and Accountability, Culture and Knowledge. It's a company officer or personal leadership program. Again, it's 4 hours, but we can break it down to fit your needs. Then the Leaderships Everyone Goes Home. That's a really good program for a smaller group of, I'll say 10 to 15, because we have breakout sessions and then people come back and deliver these programs to us. So we could break those down to fit your needs, but it focuses on your personal leadership skills by doing the right things and how you can influence others around you by doing the things properly on a regular basis. Things that we need in the fire service. I think everyone on this call today has probably used these skills on a daily basis. Will just help you hone them. The After Action Review program, that's a structured program where you come back from an incident and you can sit down and share the information with each other in a I'll say in a way that doesn't come across that I'm saying, Jose, you should have done this. And Jose said, Rick, you should have done this, because that's what happens in the fire service, right? Everybody wants to think it's not their fault. And this is just a great way to come back and share experiences so we can all learn and build and hone our skills to better serve ourselves, our fellow firefighters, and the communities we're protecting. So out of all the programs, that's probably my favorite one, because it lays out the way that we can all get on the same page and communicate. Because if we can't communicate and build relationships and friendships, we're not going to be able to get better, right? Because looking at everyone on the call, that Jose had mentioned, the ropes and knots, right? Everyone knows the people in their department or in their area that's better at one skill than someone else, right? Some people are better at ropes, some are better at hose and water supplies. And I think if everybody can understand everyone's strengths and weakness and realize that, hey, if I mess something up, I'm not afraid to say I messed it up. But with the understanding that the people that are better in that topic are going to help train and teach me, and we can do that as friends and not give me a hard time about it. So that's why I like that program. It really helps you build friends and relationships. Community risk reduction program, that's focused on the prevention aspect of school talks and things of that nature. And then the rest of these programs we'll talk about once we get online, because these are online programs. So again, the Courage to Be Safe, the LAC, the LEGH, the Leadership Accountability. And then some of you have seen the section of the Attributes of Leading program that we did with Chief Milan during the symposium in 2020. Again, that's a program we can offer as well. And that's a very fun program. You show a video of chief officers that have had challenging times throughout their career. And then it's just a conversation about the 6 or 8 of us, how many are on the call. We have a group discussion of how the incident that you just watched could affect your life, or how you could have used some of your skills to maybe change the outcome of that officer or firefighter experienced. So again, it's sharing information in both directions. It's a really great program. Okay. So we talked about some training. Obviously, resources are what people need. Resources are hard to come by. So if you go to the resources tab, it says downloadable resources, right? So there's some different handouts in here. You can go through, print handouts, and then print handouts. So when you go to deliver a class, or you go back to your department, you can share this information and have a picture or something in people's faces. Video resources. Again, jokingly, firefighters would rather watch a video than read endless text. At least where I'm at, that's how it works. So if you click on the video resources, the newest video, it's taking a little bit of time to load. The newest video is the Nathan Espinosa video. Sorry. He's a LA firefighter that fell through a roof, and he talks about what he did and how maybe he should or shouldn't have done certain things, and then how the department has changed some of their policies to make sure something like this doesn't happen again. Again, he's being honest about his incident and sharing it, which doesn't happen a lot in the fire service. There's hundreds of videos in here. They're all educational videos about people speaking up, different things that we should or shouldn't be doing. Again, these videos are all free of charge for you to download. Okay. So I hope the resources will benefit you and your organizations. Then obviously these are just some different reports and symposium outcomes, but I think the downloadable resources with the handouts and the video resources will be a lot of the things you need. A lot of these videos, if you just show the video to your group, even if it's on your phone, they're designed to play on your phone. Just show the video to 3 or 4 people and just talk about it. And you'd be surprised at how much communication you'll have about changing things or how we should be working on different things in the fire service. Okay. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. Jose, is there anything else you would like me to hit on with that before we move on? Or is that pretty much some of the resources you're needing? Okay. Okay.
Could you talk to Rick a little bit about the mission of the NFFF?
Yes. So the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation was created by Congress. It's a 501c3 nonprofit. So this is not a company where we're out here to try and make money. I mean, ultimately our job is to work ourselves out of a job. So the charge that was given to us by Congress is to honor, assist, and prevent. Honor the firefighters that died in the line of duty. And we do that through the memorial wall. In October, we have the memorial service where we honor those firefighters. And we also honor those firefighters by assisting their families in the rebuilding process. The foundation does camps for children of fallen firefighters. They do educational workshops for family members. And those could include anything from emotional support to financial support, like paying bills, right? So God forbid something would happen to me. My wife does not write our bills. She doesn't pay our bills at home. My wife probably hasn't written a check in 20 years, and she doesn't do the online pay and all that kind of stuff to pay our bills. So there's groups of people that can help her, I'll say teach her how to do these things. They have kids camps where kids are different age groups. Have trouble, I'll say, reacclimating, going back to school after loss of a parent. So they have different youth group sessions to work with these children to help them acclimate back to school. There's all kinds of different things. Some of the larger companies and the organizations in the country give some funding to help with educational opportunities, to pay for some student loans and grants and things of that nature. So that's one thing, the second prong that we do. And then the other, the last prong would be the education. That's where the website we just went over, and then this website could be very beneficial to you to provide you with information. It is a group that was set up to do training and education within the U.S. That's just the way it's structured. But obviously, things like this is awesome. I could do something like this every month to provide training and help others. That's what the fire service does. So it doesn't have to have boundaries. I can do whatever to help you. And it was nice that, Nancy's reached out. We've been friends for years, and this is just a great opportunity to kind of connect the two. We've been working back and forth for a few years trying to figure out how do we mesh the two groups, and I think this is a perfect opportunity. So Nancy, did that help kind of lay out a little bit more without getting too far down into the weeds?
Yep, I think that's great.
Okay.
One piece that I'll just add real quick is the educational resources are what we can offer,
Yes.
as you stated, to our colleagues in Africa. Some of the other programs, our opportunity there is to learn about how to honor fallen firefighters and injured firefighters, and develop programs in the countries where we're serving. So I know we've seen some steps forward toward honoring fallen firefighters in the last year, in Kenya especially. And so lots of opportunity here to learn from that as well.
So if that opportunity would arise where we could do something similar, I could get people from the local assistant state team, which are the groups that help honor the firefighters and do the paperwork. I could get them on here to do something very similar. So you just let me know when the time's right, and we will make that happen for you. I promise.
Perfect. Thanks, Rick.
You're welcome. So what we covered a few minutes ago was the programs that are in-person deliverables, but also a lot of the videos and the resources that I think that you could benefit from greatly. One of the things that we put together several years ago is the Fire Hero Learning Network. And I'm sure Nancy can send this out with a link to get to it to everyone. This website we're going to look at right now, every program on here is 100% free of charge, and you download a certificate for every program you take. And this is something that even if you do all the programs, come back every so often, because we add new programs every year. A couple programs we work towards. So you will have to create a login and a password to get to it. It's very simple. We do not sell your information, so it's not a big deal. So we'll start here in the user console here on the left. So as you come down through, there's featured programs, obviously the different training programs, which are these ones right here down the center, right? Fire attack scenarios, checklist. These checklists you can modify to fit your organization, and we will make one of those here in just a few minutes. We have podcast on here. We're up to, I think, 4, maybe 5 podcasts. We have a few more in the works. Then obviously news events of what are going on, different services around the country, obviously about us, about the foundation, and then support and home. And again, we'll go back through most all of these tabs, but that's kind of, if you ever get lost, just go back to here. Back. Okay. So as we go through these programs, you can see here we've got over 100,000 people have taken these. All these programs down the center are 100% free of charge. They're right around 1 hour in length. And I jokingly told someone earlier or Jose earlier, that they're firefighter friendly, right? Because we take runs, we take fire calls, and we have family and jobs and all kinds of stuff. So if you start one of these programs and you have to leave, when you come back, you're going to pick up in the same place you left off. You're not going to lose anything you've already taken, which is nice. So the after action review program, that's the 1 hour program that we talked about earlier, where we come back, we talk about the different programs and how we work together to build our skill set from learning from each other. The alarms and automatic sprinklers, it talks about the importance of sprinklers and water systems and some water supply systems. It gives you some overview of different parts and pieces of that. There's a communications and mentoring for company officers. You do not have to be a company officer to take these programs. They're general leadership programs that everyone can benefit from. The company officer's health and safety responsibilities. These are ways that, based off of what Jose was saying, is that health and safety, it's how you can work with your crews to make sure that they're prepared, make sure they understand the peer-to-peer, the mental health issues you deal with. And it just gives you some tips and tools of the trade to work through that. So you're not the person that everybody's like, oh man, he's the safety person. We're going to get in trouble if we don't do it right. This gives you ways to sell and make people buy into these programs instead of have to mandate them, because they truly are great programs that once you start taking, you want to take more. The Courage to Be Safe, which is the 16 Life Safety Initiatives program, just in an online version. Creating Change in the Fire Service is a program of several chief officers sitting around a table just talking, right? Just building the friendships and relationships and talking about issues they've had in the fire service and how they dealt with them. So we can learn from other people's fortunes and misfortunes throughout their career. That's the best way to learn, is to figure out what works and doesn't work from someone else before you have to make the same mistakes. Curbside Manner, Stress First Aid for the Street. That is a mental health program that gives you the tips and techniques to support the community in their time of need when they have mental health issues, or they're dealing with the loss of a family member or a friend, someone that's really having some problems. So that's a program we can use for them. But at the same time, we can also use the same program to take care of our brothers and sisters in the fire service. LAC, the Leadership and Accountability Culture and Knowledge. Again, that's one of the 4-hour deliverables, but you can take it here in a 1-hour online format. Again, all of these so far you get a certificate for. The Peer Support Program, which is exactly what Jose was speaking about earlier, is understanding the peer-to-peer and supporting each other. Response to violent incidents. How do you respond to violent incidents for someone that has a shooting or a stabbing or something along those lines? Some community risk reduction, how to keep family members safe and your community safe. Stress First Aid, another mental health program, but instead of being stress first aid for the street, it's stress first aid for ourselves. So if I was with all of you after an incident, you could look at me and understand that, hey, maybe I'm struggling, maybe I need to talk to someone. And this will give you ideas on how to do that and work through the process to make sure that I get the help that I need. Taking care of our own. It's a training module designed to help you understand and support the needs for both family and fire service members. Again, it lays out some of the things on how do we take care of ourselves and how do we take care of some of the family members in the event that we have a line of duty death. It lays some of that out. And again, it will also give you resources with policies and procedures if you want to put something in writing, if in the unfortunate event you have an incident, how do you deal with it? Then when a line of duty death occurs, incident commanders talk about some of the things that they went through and how difficult the situations and scenarios were for them and how they dealt with them. And again, these are all 100% free of charge for everyone that can log into the website. So that is as the training programs. Right below that, the ESRRP certificate, that it is the Emergency Services Risk Reduction Program. It will show up right here on your homepage once you log in. This upper left-hand corner. And then what that is a separate training program. So once you take the ones we just described, if you take After Action Review, Courage to Be Safe, and LAC, then you can take one of these other two. You can choose, and you will get a separate certificate for community risk reduction. So that's another opportunity to get more things. I'm going to download the certificate so you actually see what it looks like, right? So once you download your certificates, this is what, that's crooked, but this is what they look like. It's a nice certificate from the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, signed by the director and the executive officer. So those are available to you as well. The fire attack scenario module, if you click on that, it will open up another section just like this. If you click on it, which I'm not going to do, it will open up this 3D scenario fire attack right here, right? Actually, I'm not sure if it'll play or not. Let me try. It takes you through a video series, and you have to make decisions.
I think your sound might not have been connected for it. We can see it playing though.
Okay. My apologies. When I didn't turn my volume on for the video, so let me 1 second here. Let me stop share and then I'll go back in. My apologies to everyone for that. I think this will be one of the most valuable things you'll be able to take. So that's why I'll spend a little bit more time on this.
The fire attack and suppression decision-making interactive controls are designed to be simple. All interaction with the scenario elements takes place in the large visual content area. This is where you'll view the scenario, make your choices, and receive feedback. There are also key elements of the program that use only audio, so please be sure that your speakers are on and the volume is set to a comfortable level. Each decision you make is automatically saved, so if you leave the session and return at another time, you can resume where you left off. The remaining controls provide a record of your decisions. Click History to see a timeline of the incident and your decisions. This history builds throughout your interactive experience. Think of the history as your timeline record of this experience. It will be the basis for the after-action review portion of the program. Current Decision lists the action choice you are facing at that time. Time shows you how long in minutes and seconds it has been since the initial dispatch call. Each action you take adds a predetermined amount of time to this clock based on how long that action would typically take in real life at this particular scene. Help allows you to review this description of how the program works.
So that program starts out from sitting in the officer seat. That starts out from sitting in the officer seat just before you leave to land and supply line to which hose line you're going to take off the truck. So those programs are, again, they're all available to you as well. So hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button, everybody, and log back out. So that program is available to you as well. One other thing that would be very beneficial to every firefighter, right here is the operational checklist. If you click on the operational checklist, it gives you a list of them. Anything from vehicle fires and rescue to building collapse, structure fire, swift water rescue. Everything we could think of. So if you decided that we want to put together a checklist on building collapse, for example, right? You have options at this point. You can either download the one that's already done, or you can customize it. My recommendation is you customize it, because not all fire departments or organizations have the same resources, right, to do things. So you can even come in here and name it, right? You can make this XYZ Fire Department. As soon as I can spell it, all right? Right. You put different names on there, whatever you may want.
Hey, Rick.
Yes,
Could
ma'am.
you stop sharing and share again? Your screen is really blurry. I don't know why it wasn't before.
Oh. Try it again. Wonder if my...
You're welcome.
So when you go to the operational checklist, you can just scroll down. It gives you a list of all the different checklists here at the bottom that we've already put together. We'll use building collapse for an example here. So once you open up the building collapse checklist area, you'll have two options. You can either customize one or take the one that's already built. My recommendation for you all would be to customize one. The reason being is not all fire departments operate the same way. They don't have the same equipment, the same staffing, whatever it may be. So instead of having a checklist that really doesn't fit your organization, this way you can make one that fits your organization. So you scroll down and you can name it whatever you want, right? Put a customizable name on there. Because when you're done, you can actually print these off and you have them that you can keep with you. So then you can go down through and take off the things that you're unable to do within your fire department, right? So for example, if you don't have specialized equipment, you don't have a crane or whatever it may be, you can take those off. Just go down through all of these, and whatever you can and cannot do, you take off. And I'm just picking them at random, right? But you spend a lot more time on these for your organization. Like, we can't do this, we can't, whatever it may be, you can take it on or take it off. Okay. Then when you're done, you can choose a file where you want to save it to, and you save this checklist in a Word format right to your computer. I'll save this one so we can actually see what it looks like. Okay. Okay. Well, I can't go to the bottom and save it because the tab for the computer's on it. So there we go. So clear at the bottom, I save it. And it saves it in the ones that I've done in the past. So the one we just did was the XYZ. So if I want to download it so I can print it off or show it to my department, I can download it. And this is the checkbox we made. And it took everything off of here that we unchecked before. So now this should fit our organizational needs. So if you have structural collapse issues or structure fires or whatever it may be, these checklists are available to you. Again, 100% free of charge. These are all the different categories, anything from engine ops to confined space to safety, air packs, and air breathing management. So trench rescue, there's a lot of good information here. And again, 100% free of charge. Please use it. The only thing I ask is every time you log in here, on the right-hand side, there's always some type of a poll. If you can, every time you log in, click on that. It just takes you one or 2 seconds, so we can help collect some data, and we know what we're looking to build in the future based off of your feedback. I know that seems like a lot. I'm hoping that there's a resource that you can use, would like to use. Again, they're all free and you get certificates for them. Is there any questions that you'd like me to answer about what I just went over? I tried to make it relatively quick so I can make best use of your time. I know sometimes it seems like a lot, but again, if you can just remember the Fire Hero Learning Network, from there it will get you to everything you need as far as free resources.
And hey, Rick, while you're talking and they're asking questions, I'm
Yes,
going to try sharing my screen and just walk through what you did again. You don't
Okay.
need to talk through it again necessarily, but I think we were still having some blurry screen issues. So I'm going to test it, guys, and you can see if I make a good form. In the meantime, feel free to ask some questions of Rick.
There we go.
We'll see if I listened well.
You may have to log in before you can do it. Like create an account type of thing. Sorry about the blurry screen. I don't know if it's my internet or what made it go blurry. I apologize. Yep, perfect. We click on the operational checklist and pick whichever rescue domain or you may want. If you pick the customizable, just as Nancy's doing, you can name it whatever your department or your organization is. Then you can just simply go through, and it's broke down, for example, like response, size ups, things of that nature by the different benchmarks. And then you can take off the things that you're unable to do because of staffing or equipment. So you can make these fit your needs in your organization. Most fire departments don't have cranes and search and rescue dogs and all that. So things like that come off frequently, but they're still available. Even if you don't have them, these are different things to maybe just kind of read through and think about, because in the unfortunate event something bigger happens, these are resources you may have to get. But again, you can just go through and pick what you can and cannot do for your organization. Yeah. And once you save it, it takes you right back to here. It's always saved on this website. So if you log back in 10 years from now and you still need to still need the checklist, there it is. But from here, if you have access to print them, to hand them out to your department or whatever, you can print them. So a question came in and asked how long do the courses take to finish? All of the courses on the Fire Hero Learning Network are designed to be in a 1 hour format. Some of them take 45 minutes and some of them take right in an hour. But again, if you have a class that takes an hour and you can only go for 20 minutes or half hour, and you have to come back later, it's not a big deal because you pick up where you left off. You don't lose any credit, which is nice. And Nancy, you listened well because you walked right through it. Just perfect. Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome.
Get a gold star for the day. So.
Yay. And everybody, these really are easy to use, fantastic resources, especially when you're thinking about just the different operational steps that you need to go through, and a great way to create one of these forms and then to use that for your brigade level drills. So take those and then drill based off of the checklist that you've created that are customized for your department. So fantastic resource there in addition to the classes.
Any of the programs you can take multiple times. So even the scenario-based program, if you saw on mine, it's like 6 or 8 times. I took it the first time with my decisions, like what I would really do, to see how I did and get the feedback. And in the notes section, it gives you ideas on what could happen or couldn't happen based off your decisions. So I took it again and I purposely put in a few bad decisions every now and then. Ones that, and I say bad decisions because I've made them in the past, right? And I knew that didn't have a good outcome. But I purposely put some of those some of the bad decisions that I have personally made in that, so I could get the feedback and say, hey, this didn't happen. What else could happen? Just so it builds my knowledge and helps me reassure myself that I don't do it again. And I learned pretty well that way. So you can take them multiple times. It's a great drill. If you do it, obviously you get a certificate, but you can also, if you have the ability to have a few people sit around and maybe play it and have a discussion, like, all right, what should we do in this decision? What should we do here? And get everybody's feedback, right? Kind of use that just to steer some conversations that you may or may not have had in the past with your organization. You can use them multiple different ways. Any other questions or comments, concerns, resources you may need? Okay. Again, I thank everyone for allowing me to be a part of this. It's Nancy reached out a year or so ago. We've been just trying to connect the dots, and schedules haven't worked out well, but I was fortunate enough to be able to be part of the 2020 symposium you had, which was awesome. I really kind of recharged my batteries and got me back to the training mode, if you will. And then this, just you have to stay engaged, and this seems to do it for me. This and the Everyone Goes Home program are kind of my life passions. So
Awesome. Thank you, Rick.
You're welcome, and hopefully I can see everybody in person one of these days, or at least most of you, depending on where everyone is. So.
Absolutely. We are, I'm actually going to throw up a poll real quick, guys, because I forgot to do this earlier. I think we have folks primarily from Zambia and Kenya today, but I don't know if we have any of their partner countries. If you're from a different country than the ones I have listed there, you can put that into the chat for me. You know, we have a lot of folks from Isiolo today. So excited to see you guys with us. And I saw Mandera. You know, we've, as I said, I saw some folks from Zambia with us today. So always excited to have you all participate with us. Every week right now is something different. So we are going to have some local trainers, hopefully starting next week, from Kenya or Zambia. If you are an instructor and you're interested in being one of our instructors, please reach out to Jose, and he can help get you connected and talk you through some of what our expectations would be for training. But Rick, we really appreciate your taking us through today. Everybody, I'll have the links posted on our website as well. So you're familiar with our website, you can get to those trainings easily. If you find that you have any technology problems as you get started, sometimes we find that in some of the countries where we're working, there might be some blocks up or something like that. If you find that, please reach out to myself or Jose, and we will work with the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation and work with Rick to get any of those things resolved. Sometimes it's on the technology side on your end where you've got some things blocked. Sometimes it's on the US end or websites. And so I know we had some trainings that some folks took from FEMA, and it was a matter of getting some things unblocked on your side for us as participants, as opposed to what was happening with the website itself. So just an awareness there. It may take a little bit of technology work sometimes, but most of the videos and things, we believe that they work very well. So, but if you do run into problems, please let us know, and we'll work to get those addressed for everyone, not just one at a time. So, awesome. Well, thank you, Rick.
You're welcome.
And Jose, if you'd like to take us into an early tea time today, we'll transition to you.
Super. Thank you so much, Rick. That was just super fantastic. I can just see Fire Chief Wako excited for his crew. Because I've been so much, what happens in the backs in Nancy is that I'm really getting a lot of pressure on certificates. And Rick, you've just made it work for me.
Yes. So glad I could help, and you're welcome. And Nancy, like I mentioned that I'm, and which you know, I'm a program manager at a college. I do the fire science program. I run that for the degree students.
Yes.
If you need an instructor from time to time and you can't fill the shoes, you just let me know, and I have a whole bunch. I have a whole bunch of them that I can say, sit here and talk. We can make sure you have people. So
Fantastic.
all right. With that said, everyone understands schedules, and I got another meeting to go to, and my wife texted me, so I got to check into the home front. We'll go from there. So
All right. Thanks.
have a good day, and thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. So